Hey out there, it's the two old guys garage, Lou and Bob, and we are investigating adding an electric AC unit to the Anglia. And we got all the parts, and I'm going to run through the parts. That guy is the electric motor driven 12-volt compressor, and these are the cables. This heavy bastard is what goes from the battery and connects directly to the compressor. And then there's another cable that goes from the B plus and B minus and goes to the inside unit. And over here we have the condenser that mounts in front of the radiator with a shroud and a fan and plug to go to the F plus and F minus output, which is these two terminals right here. So we had a bit of confusion this morning because in looking at the compressor, there's these three big power lugs, and we thought at first that what that meant is that the heavy cable from the battery and the ground went to these somehow, and there was no instructions as to how to hook up to it. Well,
typical Chinaman-made junk.
Yeah, well, now I gotta be careful because that's all the instructions that come with it. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't strain myself lifting it. And it's a good thing I have 20/10 vision. I couldn't read it. But then the next thing was to understand the writing of how the connection's made. Well, after some research, I actually figured out that, drew a schematic here, the heavy cables come from the battery to the heavy terminals here, battery and ground. The lighter cable picks up battery and ground and sends it to the internal unit, and then the unit has a green wire which comes down here to XH, and that's what turns it on. So in Lou's case, he already has a fan that's hardwired all the time when the ignition is turned on. So we're going to replace his fan, retain the wiring so that the ignition kit switch turns on the fan because he runs it all the time anyway. So that means that he'd be using the AC when driving the car and the fan is running. So we'll just substitute fans. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the mounting of this unit, right? Lou, you want
to? Yeah, Lou? I thought of putting it in straight like that. But it's too wide. So I came up with it, cutting this off and putting box fans on. But I never, we're going to do, we could run the unit, instead of running like that, run it like this.
Yeah.
In an angle, which will fit in there. Okay, here's the problem. If you run it straight, it sticks out too far. But if you run it in an angle, you can run it like that, which it won't. It'll be out of the way. Your feet will be down there.
Yeah, it looks like it worked.
Yeah.
Well,
the only bitch is going to be hooking up the goddamn lines.
This is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some.
This is a straight line.
Yeah.
And this is an.
Yeah, that one can be moved around too. All you gotta do is loosen and move it.
Oh,
that's on the. See, that's on the.
Expansion valve.
On the extension valve, so I could actually loosen that.
Loosen that and
twist it around, or however.
Twist it up.
Yeah.
And then a 90.
Yeah.
Alongside this. Okay. So. Now, the hoses that they sent are long, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to be long, so because all the hoses will have to be cut.
Yeah, and the hoses The hoses come already pre-crimped.
Yeah.
So we'll cut these to length. We'll have to get new fittings and crimp them on. Now, how are we going to crimp them on?
I got a crimper. I bought a crimper. Yeah, all you do is cut that baby off of there, and then you can buy just this piece here. You can still use the same fitting, but you can put a new cap on it.
Yeah.
Unless these, yeah, they should come off. Yeah, these here, once you cut this off, this just slides through there.
Okay, so what's the tool look like? I never seen it.
Crimper's a nice unit. Okay, here's the new fan and evaporator, which will be mounted like this.
Oh, and it's got the receiver driver attached?
Yeah, it has got a dryer on it already.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, here's the crimping tool.
That's pretty hefty.
Oh, it is. Okay, she's a hydraulic operated with handle. And then this guy here plugs into this guy. And then what you do, you just put
The size
you want in there. And then it's got comes with an extra set of dice.
Okay. 12, 10, 10. Okay, depending on the size of the hose.
Yep.
So that's good. So this came from Amazon?
Yeah, this good old Amazon. You know, they got everything nowadays.
How much was it?
$140.
That's not bad. That's a lot of stuff for 140. It certainly looks rugged enough.
It's pretty husky little unit.
Yeah.
They made a different one, cheaper, that had a little pump on this
Oh,
right
yeah.
here. Yeah.
But I'll bet it was smaller than that.
Yeah, it didn't have this. It didn't have the hand pump.
Yeah, this looks like you should get a lot of pressure from it.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you think the compressor is going to go?
Now that is going to be the piston. Actually, you can mount it any place you want. You know, bolt it to the frame back there.
You got a spot down there too, right?
Yeah, I thought put that baby right in there like that.
Yeah.
Put it right in there like that somehow. It could actually,
What about-
it could actually go.
Do we have any spaces on the frame that would go to?
Not really. It had to go way back there.
I mean, we had.
Now, 'cause you got the muffler, and then no, there ain't no.
Besides, we'd have to get down on the ground to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know.
So, the
You
compressor.
could mount up in there like a regular AC compressor goes.
Huh.
Good.
Yeah, you got nothing out here, right?
Yeah.
And you got, looks like spots to.
You can get them.
Oh yeah, you got the front of the
bolts
cylinder.
right off the.
Yeah, you got the. You pick that up a second. Yeah, you got the bolts and the cylinder head too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you could fab a bracket and just sit it right in here.
Yeah, this would probably be the ideal spot for it, just right here.
Oh yeah, because you're also going to get a certain amount of air cooling, right, as you're
Yeah.
driving. rather than down there where there's exhaust pipes and crap.
Yeah, that'd be the ideal spot. Make a bracket, come off of here with a plate that bolts onto. And just like that.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
Yeah, and then if you have to, you can always run a piece.
Steady.
Yeah, but you run a piece of plate off of here, straight up, it ain't gonna go nowhere. You use a piece of 1/4-inch plate, shit.
Yeah, 90-degree plate.
To a flat, weld it, and then put a gusset
Yeah,
underneath
I was
it.
going to say, put a gusset under one side or the other.
Yeah, right there is perfect.
Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so what's first? Mount the unit inside, research,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to,
figure out what
how I'm gonna get the lines through the firewall.
you want to. You want to use well, probably the easiest way is just drill a hole and use a grommet, right?
Well, I can get a bulkhead fittings. They make a bulkhead fittings.
Yeah, I already researched one, thinking about it.
Has 2 sizes on it. Has the suction side and the high side.
Do you know how do they identify that? What size is it?
Well, one's a number 10 and one's a probably an 8 or
8?
6.
An 8 and a 10?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a look and get on the internet. All right, well, okay. So that's it. Next thing, I'll start researching the fittings and the bulkhead, and you're going to start looking at brackets to mount that on the inside first, or?
Yeah, probably. What I'll do, I think I'll do is mount it like this. See, the firewall's straight. So what I'll do is I'll make a bracket to come out here with a 90, bolt to the firewall, and then this will bolt onto the bracket.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, so I'm gonna head back and start looking for fittings.
What I'm gonna need.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, these are.
See, those are easy to get on eBay. Even whatchamacallit sells them, and they come with the whole thing to switch on. So I'm gonna need a.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's feels like polyurethane. Some 4 mounts for the compressor. Yeah. Well, that'll be good because it'll be up in the air. You'll get air cooling, which always helps, right?
Right.
And you certainly got access to it right up there.
Yeah.
Right up there on the front.
Yeah. And then powering it up, why not just connect right to the goddamn starter?
Oh yeah, you got heavy current capability.
It'd be the same thing as being connected to the battery.
Yeah. So just tap off the starter.
Yeah.
B plus.
Goes to the battery.
And ground. Yeah, I think that'll work out all right. Okay, so I think that's about
pull
it.
this baby off.
Yeah, you start taking
all
that
that
off.
shit mounted.
Okay.
First, I guess, is going to be probably build a bracket for the compressor. Yeah, get that done first. Get that mounted. Then from there you can figure out how long the lines are going to be, and then it'd be ideal to get a bulkhead fitting to go right there.
Right through there, which will connect to
Yeah.
That'll connect to. It's almost a straight shot.
Well, if you take a bulkhead fitting and put it over here, then you just run the 90. Boom, boom.
Oh, and maybe rotate this up and run it straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the bulkhead fittings have to have the hoses made with ends.
No, they screw on.
But I mean, don't you need a...
No, see, these will, the bulkhead fittings will screw onto this.
Yeah, but then you need to make 2 hoses instead of 1 hose. Where
Yeah,
one...
well, this, I'll just cut this, and what hose I got left, I can do that, you know,
Okay.
come from here to the bulkhead fitting, and from the compressor to the bulkhead fitting.
Sounds good. Okay, well, this has run longer. I got enough to put a video up. Okay,
It's good. It's going to be a project. It really
it's a
is.
project, something to do for the 2 old guys.
Yeah.
All right, everybody out there, thank you for subscribing and viewing our
Yeah, staying with us on this.
weird type videos. I'm going to end this one here, and I'll go home and do some research for the fittings and get some lunch. And yeah, I got to eat. You know, at our age, that's important, right? My dog and my food. All right, everybody, take care out there. We'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.